It probably would have, yes.
Oh.
I can't freestyle rap, so.
You know who can, though? Tom MacDonald.
Yes.
This
is true.
I know, self-proclaimed, and I think 100% he's the best independent rapper in the industry right now. He's absolutely incredible. He's been featured on the Billboard Hot 100, and like I said before, he's got a lot of music on my playlist. Tom MacDonald, welcome to TPUSA Live.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Oh, man.
All right, Tom, first and foremost, so you got The Brave that just charted at number 4 on Billboard's independent album charts, number 14 on the Billboard 200 chart overall. But unlike other people in the industry, you're just talking about what's going on in the world, and you're able to use it with your art form in such an incredible way that makes a difference.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's and I'll actually add to that. We did the number 4 on the independent albums charts. We did 14 on the Hot 100. We also had like 11 number ones in other categories, like digital sales and hip hop sales and stuff like that, which is pretty like astounding for an independent project. But yeah, man, definitely doing like a little bit of a different flavor of hip hop. That's for sure.
Some of the things that I love in your new album is I got a song, I Don't Want to Hear It. You're Sick of the Drama. You got White Boys. I've definitely been playing that. Makes it feel a lot more hardcore, Tom. I'll tell you that for sure. But you're calling out the FBI. You're talking about basically this new world order that politicians are bringing out. You're talking about elites. Everybody wants to blame white people. You're talking about double standards, abortion, elites. I mean, there's nothing that you don't cover in this new album.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being independent and, you know, not having like any industry entities behind us or using their resources or being signed to one of their labels or, you know, having any type of handler of any sort that's sort of associated with the entertainment industry. It's not only has it been more financially lucrative to do it all by ourselves, but it's allowed us to maintain some sense of sort of, you know, artistic integrity and just total freedom in talking about what we want to say. And, you know, that's always been so important to me. Like, I remember as a child, my dad introduced me to like the Led Zeppelins and Pink Floyds and Janis Joplins and Steppenwolfs of the world. And he used to tell me, you know, like, rock music is great. There's a lot of great rock songs, but rock and roll's always been more about screaming the truth at the top of your lungs. It's always been more about that than it has been about the actual music. And that's something that that was like a seed planted in me at a really young age. And now it's sort of, you know, blossomed and grown into, I think I've carried that concept forward. So, you know, I'm a rapper and I make hip hop and stuff, but at the end of the day, I think what I'm doing has more in common with the spirit of rock and roll than anything else.
There's a very interesting trend happening in music right now, utilizing the power of social media, namely TikTok, to become very well known as an artist and to have your music start trending and then go from there with your career versus the backwards way that we've traditionally done it of signing with a record label, then growing your following and your base, and then having to peel away from that if you start to have a difference of opinion. Do you think that's really the future for hip-hop and rap? I'm seeing a lot of that in country and pop right now, but I'm curious what you're seeing.
I mean, it might be. It's the space is, you know, it's always changing and always evolving. So like things are going to, you know, TikTok's popped off. That's the hot thing right now, and that's what's working right now. There's also been the introduction of NFTs and crypto and NFT record labels and all these different types of stuff. So it's really difficult because the things evolve so quickly to be able to tell like, okay, so TikTok's working right now, but is it going to be working 6 months from now? Is it going to be working a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Who knows? But I am seeing like similar things. Like I'm not really on TikTok because I was having a lot of fun on TikTok for quite a while. And then I started posting like little videos of like lyrics to my songs and stuff like that. And all of a sudden my TikTok like it just
welcome, brother, to TikTok.
It just died, and people are hitting me up saying like, hey, like my TikTok got shut down because I posted your song, or they've muted the audio on my TikTok, or da 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 da. So I kind of just like abandoned TikTok, but I do see the trends that you're talking about. Like I see my girlfriend uses it a lot, so you know she's flipping through her TikToks, and you know I'm like, what is that? What is that sound, that song that I keep hearing? And she's like, oh, it's this song by so-and-so and da-da-da-da-da. And then I go check the iTunes charts or the Billboard charts or whatever it is. And sure as shit, there it is.
Yeah.
It's on the charts. And a lot of times it's number one. And like, I definitely, I think that's kind of like the younger generation's like new wave. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, man. Like 5-10 second videos, short attention spans, scroll, like it makes sense. I don't know if there's longevity associated with that process, but it's working right now. So.
Do you think that's going to give more artists their own opportunity to have a voice independent of the corporate overlords telling them what they can and can't say or create as artists?
No. I think it's going to give those types of opportunities to artists that fit inside the mold and are packaged properly and are saying things that are acceptable by sort of the mainstream standard of what's acceptable. I think it's definitely going to benefit those people. But as for people like myself, like I get on there and, you know, post a verse from White Boys or post a verse from New World Order or Brainwashed or Politically Incorrect or a plethora of different songs. I get on there and post that, and like, you know, the video of me like dancing with my girlfriend gets 1 million views, and the video of me posting some really potent, impactful lyrics that gets 5,000 views. And people's, like I said, people's audio gets muted, their TikToks get shut down, videos get removed, So I'm sure it'll be beneficial for, you know, for the people that keep it in between the lines, but for people like me that like, drove right off the road and started off-roading through the farmers' fields, like, it's not gonna benefit me.
The farmer's field that Bill Gates owns, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got to ask, so you know, I appreciate what you do because you speak to social issues. You speak to the things that are really going on and affecting the world today, affecting especially America. Now, that's what rap used to be about, where they actually used to talk about actual issues as opposed to, you know, thugs and drugs and all that type of thing. So, but my question to you, have you gotten any people in the mainstream trying to reach out to you, trying to do collabs and things of that nature, or is it mainly, do they kind of leave you alone because you tackle those issues that are quote unquote a taboo for them to be able to talk about?
I've had a lot of sort of mainstream guys reach out and just say like, hey man, like respect the art, respect what you're doing independently, and sort of give me like, you know, my big ups in private. But it's never come down to like, oh, we should do something, we should work on something. It's never come down to like, oh, I'm gonna post your video. It's never come down to anything on a public forum. And like, you know, like I see lots of guys that like big star, quote unquote, like hits them up. And they like screenshot the conversation and post it, and they're like, "Oh, guess who just hit me up? Like this guy just reached out or whatever." And like a lot of these guys are working, whether they agree with the way the system works or not, they're working within it. And like out of respect for them and their careers, I would like never be like, "Oh, and this guy hit me up, and that guy hit me up," and this, so I'm, you know, like. It's just trying to be responsible. Like it could really negatively with cancel culture and mob mentality and all this types of BS. It could really affect somebody's career in a negative way. So I think like the only person that's ever that, you know, you might be able to call mainstream that's hit me up privately and then took that a step forward and went publicly with their sort of, I wouldn't know if I'd necessarily call it support, but respects what I'm doing would be Royce da 5'9".
Okay.
So, and that was a pretty big moment for me. Like that's somebody that I grew up listening to. Like that Royce is a huge entity. He's a legend in hip hop, very well respected, talented, you know, icon in hip hop. And watching Royce from the outside, you wouldn't necessarily think that Royce would take the time out of his day to entertain what I'm saying or have a conversation with me. And I've spoke to Royce at length on the phone numerous times, and we disagree about tons of stuff. And when it's time to get off the phone, it's like, all right, bro, yeah, I really appreciate talking to you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And it's never turned into like this weird combat that you see online all the time. So.
Well, isn't that a beautiful part about our country? We were just talking about Twitter, how there's certain people like, oh, I want to leave the platform. It's going to get crazy. I kind of hope these people stay. And I hope they are able to engage in conversations, because the only way we move forward and bridge some sort of gap is if we actually talk, whether that's on the phone, maybe in replies on Twitter or something like that. I definitely do prefer in person. Definitely. I think those are so effective. But what's interesting about your story, Tom, is you're from Canada. And then you ended up moving here, and you realize, this is a beautiful country, and I'm going to do whatever I can to fight for these values that I moved here for.
Dude, it's, I've been all over the world. I've toured with Onyx and Cool Keith, and I've been through Europe multiple times and spent the first, half of my life in Canada. And Canada never really felt like home to me. And I thought that when I was going to go tour through Europe, that I'd end up in Paris or London or Athens or Crete or Barcelona or someplace, and I'd finally find the place that felt like home. And I never did. And then I came to the United States with $800 in my pocket. My dad dropped me off at the airport. He shook my hand, and while he was shaking my hand, he said, he paid for my flight. He gave me $800 in my grandfather's wallet at the airport, and he said, hey, you got one job when you go to America. That is the land of opportunity. Live up to your potential, please. And he shook my hand, and I got on the flight and came here. And I think that a lot of people sort of have this vision in their head of what the American dream is. And I think they picture like a disheveled family, like arriving on the shores of America, like on a little wooden raft, and they're starving. And you know what I mean? And maybe at one point in time that was accurate. But these, in my situation, it was, a kid with a dream from Canada and $800 in his pocket. And he came here and fell in love with the country and the people and the concept and the American spirit and the freedom and this country, or maybe more to the point, the people in this country have helped me realize the only dream I ever had in my life, and that was to be a musician and reach as many people as possible. So for that reason, I feel like I am forever indebted to this country and the people in this country and the people that fight for this country. It's without question in my mind, and like I said, I've been a lot of places. The United States of America is the greatest country in the world. Don't at me. There's no conversation. Period. That's it.
It's so often, too, we see people that come from different places. They appreciate America so much more. And also, they're the people that could probably pass the Constitution test. A lot better than people that live here in America. But before we let you go, Tom, let people know where they can get Brave and listen to the rest of your music. Also, your music videos, too. Those crack me up all the time, too. Those are very, very well done.
Thanks, man. Yeah, they're all shot by my girlfriend. I make all the beats, write all the songs. My girlfriend, Nova Rockefeller, shoots all the videos, edits them. So yeah, totally homegrown operation, no managers, no labels, nothing. The albums can be grabbed on my website. That's www.hangovergang.com. It's also the first digitally released album we've ever done. So it's on iTunes and Amazon and Apple Music and Spotify and all that stuff. And, but you mentioned my videos. The way that I like my music to be experienced, I think that the visuals are so important, and they're such an integral piece of the painting that I'm trying to create. So if you really want to get a full gauge on what it is that I do, youtube.com/Tom MacDonald official, or just go to YouTube and search out Tom MacDonald. You'll find it there.
You won't be disappointed, people. Definitely listen to his music. I know a lot of us here on the couch and here at Turning Point USA HQ listen to it all the time. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me, man. Much love.
See you, Tom. All right, we're going to take a quick break.